Welcome to Odd Crime Chronicles. Hello! I bet you didn't know the all-American girl next door could become a killer. She was a small-town girl with big dreams. Courtney Clenney, a bright and beautiful young woman from Texas, seemed to have it all. Her captivating smile and infectious energy drew people in. She excelled in school and was a talented athlete. Courtney was the epitome of an all-American girl next door, but beneath the surface, a darker side simmered, a fiery temper, a need for control. These traits, often masked by her charm, would eventually lead her down a path of destruction, leaving a trail of heartbreak and ultimately a life tragically lost. What drives a person to such extremes? In this series, we'll uncover the chilling details of Courtney Clenney's transformation from a beloved cheerleader to a cold-blooded killer. Stay tuned for insights, shocking revelations, and a fresh perspective on this haunting case. Let's dive into the story, and let's go. Driven by ambition and a desire for recognition, Courtney set her sights on the world of modeling. Her stunning looks and toned physique, honed through years of dedication to fitness, made her a natural. She quickly gained a following on Instagram, showcasing her workouts and glamorous lifestyle. Courtney discovered OnlyFans, a platform where creators could monetize their content. Her popularity exploded. Millions of followers flocked to her page, mesmerized by her beauty and enticed by the promise of exclusive content. Courtney Clenney was no longer just a small-town girl. She was an internet sensation, living a life of luxury and excess. Amidst the whirlwind of fame and fortune, Courtney found love. Christian Obumsili, known to friends as Toby, was a charismatic and successful cryptocurrency trader. They were a striking couple, their love on full display across social media. Lavish vacations, romantic dinners, and heartfelt declarations of love painted a picture of a fairy tale romance. Their relationship was passionate and intense, fueled by their shared ambition and love for the high life. But behind the carefully curated online persona, a storm was brewing. The same fiery temper that simmered beneath Courtney's charming exterior would soon ignite, threatening to consume everything in its path. The cracks in their seemingly perfect relationship began to show. Arguments, once whispered behind closed doors, spilled out onto the streets and into the public eye. Witnesses reported loud fights, often fueled by alcohol. Neighbors complained of disturbances, their peace shattered by the sounds of screaming matches. Courtney's need for control intensified. Her jealousy, fueled by insecurity and fueled by alcohol, became suffocating. Christian, once full of life and laughter, seemed withdrawn, his light dimming under the weight of their toxic relationship. The downward spiral. The downward spiral continued, each fight escalating the tension. Police were called multiple times to their luxurious, high-rise apartment, responding to reports of domestic disturbances. Each time, promises were made, only to be broken. Courtney's erratic behavior became more frequent and more alarming. She lashed out physically, leaving Christian with bruises and scratches. Friends and family watched in horror as the once vibrant young woman they knew transformed into someone unrecognizable. Red flags and warning signs. The warning signs were there, flashing like neon signs, impossible to ignore for anyone who was paying attention. But love, often blinding, can also deafen us to the truth. It creates a fog that obscures our vision and muffles the voices of reason. Christian, deeply in love and perhaps blinded by his own pain, made excuses for Courtney's behavior. He convinced himself that her actions were just temporary lapses, moments of weakness that would pass. He downplayed the severity of her actions, protecting her even as she chipped away at his spirit. Each excuse he made was another brick in the wall that isolated him from reality. Friends and family pleaded with Christian to leave. They saw the toll it was taking on him, the way his light was dimming day by day. They saw the danger he was in, the potential for tragedy looming large. Their warnings were urgent, their concern palpable, but he hesitated. Torn between his love for Courtney and his own well-being. The crossroads he faced was not just a choice, but a battle between heart and mind. He held on to the hope that he could save her, that he could be the one to pull her back from the brink. In his heart he believed that love could conquer all, even the darkest of times. The night tragedy struck. On a warm April evening in 2022, the unthinkable happened. A frantic 911 call pierced the night. Courtney Clenney, her voice trembling with a mix of panic and hysteria, claimed that Christian had attacked her, that she had been forced to defend herself. Paramedics rushed to their apartment, but it was too late. Christian Obumseli, stabbed in the chest, lay dying on the floor. the life drained from his eyes, along with their hopes for a future together. Courtney Clenney, covered in blood, was taken into custody, her cries of self-defense ringing hollow in the face of such a senseless tragedy. A city in shock, a family in mourning. The news of Christian Abumsele's death sent shockwaves through Miami and beyond. The young couple, once the envy of social media, was now at the center of a real-life tragedy. Friends and family grappled with grief and disbelief, struggling to reconcile the charming young man they knew with the horrific circumstances of his death. Social media, once a platform for the couple's love story, became a battleground for accusations and speculation. Courtney Clenney, once adored by millions, was now vilified, her carefully crafted online persona shattered. Unraveling the truth, the trial of Courtney Clenney, a case that gripped the nation and drew intense media scrutiny. The trial of Courtney Clenney became a media spectacle, with reporters and cameras capturing every moment, every twist and turn. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, witness testimonies, text messages, audio recordings, and chilling videos, all painting a picture of a volatile and abusive relationship. They meticulously laid out their case, piece by piece, each element adding to the narrative of a premeditated crime. They argued that Courtney, driven by jealousy and an unquenchable thirst for control, had murdered Christian in cold blood. The evidence, they claimed, was irrefutable, showing a pattern of manipulation and violence. Courtney's defense team fought back, claiming self-defense. They countered every point made by the prosecution, presenting their own evidence and witnesses. They argued that Christian was the abuser, that Courtney, a victim of his rage, had been left with no choice but to defend herself. They highlighted instances of Christian's violent behavior, painting a starkly different picture of the relationship. They painted her as a battered woman, driven to a desperate act by a man twice her size. Emotional testimonies from friends and family supported this narrative, describing Courtney's fear and desperation. The courtroom became a battleground for truth, with both sides vying to control the narrative. The jurors, tasked with sifting through the conflicting stories, faced an immense challenge. The tension was palpable as each side presented their final arguments, leaving the fate of Courtney Clenney in the hands of the jury. The verdict and its aftermath. The jury's decision, reached after weeks of testimony and deliberation, would determine Courtney Clenney's fate. Would they believe her claims of self-defense, or would they hold her accountable for the death of Christian Abumsele? The verdict, delivered with the weight of justice, sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Courtney Clenney was found guilty of second-degree murder. The judge, in handing down the sentence, acknowledged the complexities of the case, but ultimately ruled that Courtney's actions that night had crossed the line from self-defense to murder. A stark reminder and a call for action. The tragic case of Courtney Clenney and Christian Abumsele serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of domestic violence. This heartbreaking incident has left a lasting impact on their families, friends, and the community at large, highlighting the urgent need for awareness and intervention. It highlights the insidious nature of abuse, often hidden behind closed doors and masked by charm and manipulation. Abusers can be incredibly deceptive, making it difficult for victims to seek help or even recognize the abuse themselves. This case sheds light on the psychological and emotional manipulation that often accompanies physical violence. It reminds us that domestic violence can affect anyone regardless of their social status, wealth, or online persona. Even those who appear to have perfect lives on social media can be suffering in silence. The facade of a glamorous lifestyle can often hide the pain and trauma experienced behind the scenes. This case is a call to action. It urges us to take a stand against domestic violence and to support initiatives that aim to prevent such tragedies. We must come together as a community to raise awareness and advocate for change. We must break the silence surrounding domestic violence. By speaking out and sharing our stories, we can empower others to do the same. It is through open dialogue and education that we can begin to dismantle the stigma and fear that keep victims trapped in abusive situations. We must believe survivors and provide them with the support and resources they need to escape abusive relationships. This includes access to safe housing, legal assistance, counseling, and financial support. It is crucial that we create a network of care that can help survivors rebuild their lives. We must hold abusers accountable for their actions. This means ensuring that the legal system is equipped to handle cases of domestic violence effectively and that perpetrators face appropriate consequences. Justice must be served to deter future abuse and to provide a sense of closure for victims and their families. And most importantly, we must remember Christian Obumseli not just as a victim, but as a vibrant young man whose life was tragically cut short. His memory should inspire us to continue fighting for a world where no one has to suffer from domestic violence. Let his memory fuel our fight for a world free from domestic violence. Together, we can create a future where everyone can live without fear and where love and respect are the foundations of all relationships. Remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on important stories and join us in raising awareness. Your support can make a difference.